What up, fam? This is Cassidy K. O'Connor.
I'm Jennifer Wedmore.
I'm Sheri Lynn.
Welcome to our podcast channel. We're going to be releasing a new video every Friday, so subscribe to the channel so you get those alerts when something new is posted. If you guys have topics you want us to discuss or comments or anything, post those below the video. You can also reach out to us on our social media links, which we have pasted below for you as well. So this week we're going to be doing some getting to know you questions. We're going to talk about a new book release, some would you rather questions, and then talk about a book con that we were at 2 weeks ago. So that's what we're going to do this week.
Is it really only 2 weeks ago?
I think so.
That's crazy. All right, so we're going to start off with get to know you questions. Our first question is, if money was no object, what would you do all day?
Sure.
Sleep.
She would sleep. I would travel. I like to travel.
Now see, when we first were discussing this, I went with practical, and then when you answered, I was like, well, shit, I had a stupid answer.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Well, I didn't think we were going
So what
to.
would you do?
I have no freaking clue. That's the problem.
Because you could do anything.
Yeah, I want to do something different every day. Might be boring.
Well, you can do that if you have all the money in the world.
That's right.
That works.
Next question, sorry. What's the most daring thing you've ever done? Good freaking God.
You go first.
Can we have...
Okay, mine was in high school. I went skinny dipping. This bitch over here was supposed to hide my clothes for me so I could have them when I got out, but she let them have them. No, she didn't.
That's technically
She let them
hiding.
have them so I couldn't get out.
In my defense, I wanted to be home sleeping.
I will say though, in general, authors, for us to go, a lot of authors to go to the conventions and just put ourselves out there for readers to come up and tell us, how they felt about our books, good or bad. That is very daring. So I know obviously there are authors that are totally very extroverted, but I think the majority are not. So I think in general that's very daring of us. But do you come up with anything else for
I
you?
can't come up with a damn thing.
It's
Apparently,
PG? No.
Keep it PG.
I'm trying.
They're boring, as you can tell. Is that what you're saying? Oh yeah, that's what you were talking about. The BDSM club.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That for her, that was very
Yeah,
daring.
for her, that was very daring.
And then
yeah.
going back twice.
Yes. Yeah. So there's a local club.
Can I
Here-
say the name of it, or do we have? Is that
I
something?
think
they
so.
want?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
The Phoenix Club in Largo. We went down actually our birthday weekend with Grayson Miller and us for the first time, and it was interesting. There was some shit I never wanted to see.
yeah, definitely. But so you still didn't come up with anything?
No, I can't think of a thing.
By the end of the video, I want an answer.
Okay.
So keep going.
You guys can't think of something that
No, I can't think of anything at the moment either. But
maybe I was too busy sleeping.
yeah, probably.
You did do that a whole lot. Okay, our next question is, what is your favorite childhood memory?
I'm picking.
Okay, so if you know me, you know that I have an extremely horrible memory. It's my short term's bad, my long term's bad, just in general. My high school friends get really annoyed because I can't remember anything. So I don't have a ton of memories to pick from, but I have this vague memory of, I guess he'd be a great uncle of ours from Connecticut, and whenever he would come down, we would have empty milk jugs ready to go, and he would make milkshakes. Homemade milkshakes and stuff. So I just have this vague memory of always being excited with the empty jugs, waiting for Ed to come visit us and do that. So and just remember standing outside shaking crazy, mixing them up and stuff like that. But that's really all the memory I have of it. But
That's the thing, because I don't remember the jugs, but I remember him making them and loving the taste of
I
them.
remember
So-
shaking the
They
jugs.
had to have just a little bit of milk left in them.
Yeah,
so they
I-
would save them for him.
Yeah, I remember that. I don't know why.
I remember he used to threaten to write our names on our foreheads because he had trouble telling us the part he used to say.
Yes, I remember that. But
I don't remember that.
Didn't he? Yeah. Sorry, our mom's off screen, so I'm verifying. I remember that. Yeah.
okay, what'd you guys come up with?
Mine, I think, was, back in the early 80s. We used to drive to Orlando, which is about 2.5 hours, and our grandfather used to set us on his lap to let us drive. Of course, you couldn't do that shit nowadays, but I remember doing that all the time.
Yeah.
And he was a police officer.
That's just beside the point.
One memory that always sticks out was with Papa, my grandfather, when he took us to the station. and he'd take us down to the weight room.
That big guy.
Yeah, and there's one guy that always tried to get us to take $1 from him and then the other guy, and he used to point at this one guy, and he was just a really big cop, and he goes, if you don't drink your milk, you're gonna look like him. But they always used to just tease us and spoil us every time we went down there. And I think it was just fun going to the police station and seeing what he did.
I have no memory. Police station.
What about Key West? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. Apparently, I was the unloved child. So my grandparents decided to go to Key West, and they took them and left me home by myself. I stood in the driveway crying. I had my little suitcase, and they left me there.
And of course, she remembers every bit of this.
I remember none of it, but it doesn't matter. I've been told the story. So therefore, I'm going to, my grandmother is still to this day, I make sure to remind her that she left me behind and took them to Key West.
I do remember that trip because I met a dolphin named Sheri. I remember that.
I remember
shake
nothing
flippers
about the
with it?
trip.
I don't remember that part. I just remember his name was Sheri, and I was all excited. That's all I remember of that trip.
Did
We
you
were
say
too
his
little.
name?
Yeah, she did say his name.
They named the boy dolphin Sheri?
I don't know. I just remember the dolphin's name was Sheri. That's all I remember, okay? Jeez.
So I think that's all our get to know you questions, but have you heard Sheri, Lynn, and I have a new release? Sheri?
Yes. She's gonna put cover. It's called Can You Protect Them? Released on Friday the 22nd. And it's a unique book in that Jen and I alternated chapters. And she wrote the serial killer and I wrote the cop. And it was fun because we played off each other. Or as I like to keep saying, it's the good twin versus bad twin.
You've got to let that die.
No.
Or the professor will help.
Psychopath!
Did I hear it's available everywhere?
Kindle Unlimited and Kindle.
Kindle Unlimited Kindle. Okay. And so that's part of the Millie
Taden
world.
Federal Paranormal Unit world.
That was the first time this one happened, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brand new
So it's a
launch.
new world.
Yeah,
so
it was
that's pretty
exciting,
cool.
yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna write in that one. We'll have to see how that goes.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I like that there's so many options of where you could go with it. Hence the reason she wrote a serial killer and I wrote the cop.
I wanted to be different.
All right. So yeah, check that one out. It released last week. How much is it? Or well, if you're in Kindle Unlimited, it's free. But if
I think it's
people are
$2.99.
$2.99. Okay. So yeah, definitely check that out. If you liked it, anything, you can check them out on Facebook. They love to hear from everybody. Emails. Just tag them, whatever you want to do. Harass them. Anything makes me happy. So just do all those things to them. Okay, so we're going to do a couple of would you rather questions. So like this or that's. So let's see. The first question is going to be, would you rather have your first child at 19 years old or 45 years old?
19.
I think 19.
Yeah, 19.
I am 37 years old, and I can guarantee you, if I had a baby right now, I would want to cry because I like my sleep. I don't want to get up in the middle of the night. I have a new puppy. I have one that's 1.5 years now, and then my daughter's puppy, and they get us up now, and it's horrible. I don't want to do it with the baby. So I'll wait a few years for grandkids, but I'm too old for that now. I give all the credit in the world to anyone at this age or older that has kids.
Her
has
6-year-old
babies.
kills me. And
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
It's
so I
so
couldn't
much.
imagine.
having her at 34. I was exhausted.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the perk: you have more money at older, and you're more responsible and set up in life. But it's just not worth the time when you're so exhausted.
Oh,
I kind of think
absolutely.
I've gotten less patient, if that's possible.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
But then I think maybe you get more patience back with grandkids. It kind of seems that way.
Because you
But-
can send them home.
Yeah, that's true.
But I don't have kids to have grandkids, so I can't tell
Right.
you.
Yeah, but you'll have grandnieces
Grandnieces
and
and
nephews. So
And I got puppies.
and your puppies.
And I can have grandpuppies, right?
No, they're all fixed.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I'll just adopt your puppies
You'll
as
just
mine.
keep having puppies.
Not literally, of course.
All right, next question. Would you rather share a toothbrush with a stranger or kiss your sister on the mouth? And if so, which sister? So,
I'm so sharing a toothbrush with a stranger. It's just like kissing them, so I really don't see the difference.
and I say a sister, and I think you say sister too. So we're gonna pick each other since this one doesn't want to kiss either of us. But obviously, if the stranger is like really hot, that's one situation.
Yeah, the question didn't
I still-
specify,
Yeah, but I
so-
mean, you think about the food that's in their teeth and
So it's
everything
like
else.
going on a
I
It
mean,
didn't
kissing
say.
somebody.
It didn't say you had to do tongue here. I'm talking peck or something.
But no, I
here.
know, but toothbrush though. If you're sharing a toothbrush, you're up in there.
That's true.
I mean, you're getting those mouth germs up in there, and
Right.
I don't think I want to do that with most strangers. I don't
No.
care how hot they are. If they got like, no.
Yeah, no.
So I'm all for the
And I never said the
kissing
toothbrush
sister.
couldn't have been washed in between.
It doesn't matter. I don't think they're that clean unless you're like boiling that shit.
Shit, boil it. Nobody said I couldn't.
I'm not doing it. No.
I'll give you a peck.
Okay. Next one is: would you rather lose your sense of taste and smell or lose all of your hair?
Taste and smell, because then food is pointless. And I kind of just lost all my hair accidentally. I got a really bad haircut that screwed it up totally, so
I think it looks good now, though.
I
But
fixed it somewhat. Not what I wanted, but
I would rather lose my hair because I can wear a wig. And I can wear lots of wigs and change my color as much as I want. But I love food. Food is my life. I'm not a foodie. I'm just obsessed with food. So if I can't taste it, I don't know what the point of life would be. So I'd have to go with the hair.
My first thought was the taste and smell, but I hardly eat now. I skip most meals, so I think if I couldn't taste it, I would eat even less.
exactly.
So I probably, for health reasons, have to go with my hair.
But you could eat healthier because you wouldn't care
That's
what
true.
it
That's
tastes
very
like.
valid because there's
But
a lot of healthy
no.
food I won't eat.
That's
No,
true.
Yeah, no.
no. Life's too short to have bad food.
I agree. So definitely comment down on the video. Let us know what your answers are to those would you rathers. We're always curious to see if we get people that agree with us. So then the next topic we're going to talk about is 2 weeks ago we were at Book Obsessed Babes book convention in St. Augustine, run by the wonderful Tara Wilds.
Is it Tara or Tyra? Tyra.
I can never remember his title.
it's
I'm pretty
Tyra.
sure it's Tyra.
I love you either way, but I can never remember. Remember? Because I asked this question at the con, and somebody told me if it's Tyra or Tara. And again, I can't remember what they said, so I apologize now. I still love you. So yeah, here's the best thing about the convention. So remember how we were saying that a lot of us are very shy and everything? Well, one thing that does help is they force me not to hide in the hotel room, which is kind of my preference because I am shy. We sat down in the lobby with a group of other people. Robbie Cox and the girls were sitting down there. Tyra sat down there a few times, and we had some different people. But at one point, Sarah and Patty were sitting there, and we happened to notice that behind them, they were like taking pictures of themselves, but they weren't. The camera was pointed over them, and we were trying to figure out what they were doing. And then we realized there was some guys behind them that they were really enjoying the view of. And so Robbie Cox thought he would be
A gentleman.
and he went over to the guy and asked him if he would come over and meet with Patty and Sarah.
Patty is our mother, by the way.
Yeah, so for those of you who
that
don't know. So, so then he came up behind her. She didn't know that Robbie had done this until all of a sudden she looks up and here's the guy looking over her.
And she'd had a few drinks, and she's lightweight, so it was
yeah,
even better.
2 drinks. She'd had 2 drinks and she was already pretty toasty by then. But she was purple, if you can believe it, laughing so hard, which had everybody laughing. But then there was other girls in the group who also had been apparently staring this guy down. So it was
He walked
JC
up
and
to
Terry, right?
Give my mother a hug, and Terry said, I like
I like
hugs. I like hugs. I give good hugs.
Warm hugs.
Yeah. So that
It was
that was
awesome.
probably the best part of the convention. Was not like embarrassing Patty because that was always
That was
fun.
such a perk.
But it was funny because after the conversation happened, it turns out he was a model there for the con, and I didn't know that to start with. But he actually said to Robbie, thank you for, coming over and breaking the ice, basically, because he was kind of in the same boat where he was over there and didn't, feel like he could cross over into our group and vice versa. So I think that's a good reminder for everybody when you go to a convention that just because you see people sitting there, don't assume that they don't want to talk to you or anything like that. They could just be too shy. Not everybody is. I mean, Robbie's always like, hey! So he's like the most outgoing person. But for the rest of us,
Most authors I know are very
we
introverted.
are very introverted. So just keep that in mind. What else about...
One of my favorite things was actually the welcome event Friday night. We went
That was
down
awesome.
Yeah.
to, I guess it's kind of like downtown St. Augustine.
Yeah.
There's little shops and stuff. Well, one of the restaurants had this huge courtyard with these most gorgeous trees and picnic tables, and they had a stage for live bands, and it was just a blast. The DJ did amazing with the music. We were
Good job.
actually dancing and without a lot of alcohol that doesn't normally happen, but it was just so much fun. It was probably the best one I think I've
And
ever
that
been to.
alcohol was strong. That
Yes.
bartender was pouring them.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, Tyra's husband was in like this all purple
he was
suit because it was a
pimping.
Mardi Gras theme.
Oh, he was
And he
awesome.
was just rocking out, dancing all around, having a great time. I met him like 3 months before this at a Christmas party, and he was much quieter and subdued. So when I had trouble thinking that was the same guy. So it was actually pretty funny to get that. But do you have another favorite part?
It's actually one of the first con I've gone to since I started writing as a reader. So it was
That's
kind
right,
of
you
unique
didn't-
for
yeah.
me being on that other side again, because it was so weird. I sat with Jennifer as her assistant, but to watch people come up and talk and getting that whole aspect was kind of awkward for me. It felt weird, you know. I'm not used to it anymore.
Every time somebody would come up, and it was my first signing as an author, and said that they'd read one of my books, she would actually sit there and like,
I was excited.
it was so funny. She was more excited than I was sometimes, I think. But it was fun.
Yeah, and it was your first time to St. Augustine.
Yes. And that
So-
was a beautiful city.
Yeah, so we did the trolley ride around town. And got to see all the different sites. Later that night, Sunday night, they went home because they had to work Monday, but we took an extra day because my husband and sons were there as well. And so we did the ghost tour Sunday night. And one of my sons, Brendan, he got pulled up onto the little staging area where they had like the wax figures hanging and stuff. And he had to be they were. And so he had to be the little actor for them. And the guy was getting so mad because he's like, I'm tightening the rope. And my son's like, and he's like, no, gasp for breath. And he's like, really, guy, can you give me something to work with here? So he's 17. What are you going to do? But it was very funny. So I don't think I got really freaked out at all in any of their stories. I don't know. But
I never found any of the ones that we've been on to be that scary.
apparently
It was
Sheri
dark. Okay.
Yeah.
They are up and dark usually.
They put me, we were the last one to enter the room. This was in Savannah. And we had to walk in, and I looked at her and said, hell no, I'm not going to sit on the other side of the room on a box under a window. It's just not happening.
And of course, everybody in the room laughed at us because we were the last ones, and it didn't bother me.
So we were sitting over there, and I'm constantly like this over my shoulder because it's a window behind me.
I thought she was going to be in my lap at one point.
When the lights went off, I kind of did crawl in her lap. I don't handle the dark well.
And nothing happened in our corner. We were perfectly fine.
And that was a walking tour, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We took a trolley part of it.
Yeah, it was back and forth.
It was
See, that's
fun.
what I was saying. The one we went on was pretty much all trolley, except we did go like into the wax museum and
Yeah,
stuff
that's what
like
we
that, and into the prison. That was actually pretty cool.
I wanna go in there.
But the actors were amazing. They were hardcore, like into it. They were great. But I do feel for Tyra, Sarah, and Shar on Saturday night. They did a walking tour, and it was like supposed to be 2 hours. I think it turned into like 3 hours, and they came back. They were like totally exhausted. So I definitely know don't do any full walking tours. And I think we learned that from New Orleans as well. That's where we met Tina Barnes for the first time. Actually, we decided to do this walking tour, and it was an amazing
tour was
tour.
great.
And I would absolutely do it again.
Thank
If
you,
we got to
Sheri.
sit in a car.
I just
We
did
were
not
fine.
realize how much walking and standing it was. That was exhausting. But I would definitely do that tour again.
Isn't that the one where the other tour guide came up and scared Mother?
I don't remember.
He like walked up right behind her and she turned and he said something to her and she just like flipped out. And,
Was that like at the bar when you go to stop for drinks?
no, this was just walking down the street. He snuck up behind her.
Well, some of them were in such elaborate masks and makeup and stuff that in the dark, that would scare the living shit out of me.
Yeah.
I think it was one of the ones that was really decked out.
Yeah, so again, if you guys have been on any of these tours or anything like that, we want to hear about it. Maybe you guys have a funny story of something that happened to you. Let us know.
Or if you were in Bow Base, let us know your favorite part.
Yeah, definitely. Let us know if you saw us sitting down there in the lobby area, because we were pretty much there for like 7 hours at a time.
Speaking of, I saw just, I think this morning, that Tyra posted that planning for 2020 is happening.
I did hear. She didn't say where yet, right?
No, she was going to try for St. Augustine. They were going to build a hotel down by the beach, she said, so it would give us the more room since we had to be in 2 venues. So hopefully that happens because I would love to go back and spend more time in St. Augustine.
Yeah, I think they're building right across from that Ripley's.
Yeah, I
which
thought
is
I
right
saw
there.
that there. Yeah.
But the beach is like over the
Through
bridge and
so
everything.
I'm
so,
not sure which
yeah.
place she was talking about. I was curious too, but
Yeah, so if you think that's something you might want to go to next year, definitely follow the, it's Bobase, Bobase,
which is
Book
Obsessed Babes
Author Signing Event. So search for it on Facebook. If you can't find it, just reach out to one of us too, and we can get you the link as well.
And if you can't get one of us,
Get the other one.
We all know where each other are all the time.
So, yeah. So if Sheri doesn't answer you, she might just be ignoring you. You don't know.
I could be sleeping or something.
That's valid. But reach out to one of us. We probably know where she is and vice versa. Sheri and I actually only live like a half a mile away from each other, and then Jennifer's like 20 minutes up the road. So we are always together, not just the three of us, but our husbands, our kids, our uncle, our grandmother, our mother, obviously. Pretty much we do everything together. We eat together like multiple times a week and go to movies together and everything. So we're that family. Just like Modern Family on TV, literally that's us. So I think that's it for this week, for this episode. So we hope you had fun. We definitely want to hear from you. Don't forget to subscribe so that you're notified when the next video comes out. Like we said, that's going to be on Fridays. And I think that's it for me. What about you?
Yep, that's it.
Next week we got some exciting crafts, so it'll be interesting.
Oh, crafts. Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Can people be more creative in more than one aspect? Because I'm not. Yeah, I know you are, but you're not really. So
No,
this
no.
is gonna suck.
But
Well, that's all for this week. Sorry. Keep reading, family. I forgot.
you can cut it.